After a pretty enjoyable race in Spain, we're set for the 7th race of the season in Monaco. The Monaco GP is seen by many fans as the most prestigious race on the calendar, and Max Verstappen and Red Bull are expecting a chaotic and busy weekend at the Monaco Grand Prix, the home race of title rival Charles Leclerc. It was advantage Verstappen for the 3rd race in a row in Spain, as the world champion took the lead in the F1 standings for the first time in 2022. It came as Ferrari driver Leclerc, who led the Spanish Grand Prix from the get-go, was forced to retire with a power unit failure.
Oh, what happened? Lost power.
But this weekend, it's Leclerc who will be trying to win the race and break his Monaco curse. With only one pole position so far in 2022, Verstappen understands that qualifying will be critical in Monaco. Meanwhile, in 6 races, Leclerc has started from the front 4 times. Monaco is always a hectic but special weekend. Qualifying is critical. The track is very old school and narrow. Your heart rate goes so high, it's insane, he said. We have to constantly be on the edge. It's a pretty crazy track with Formula 1 cars. My Monaco race history was not so good, but I finally won there last year, and there was a massive release once I crossed the line, and I was very happy to win that race. Who do you think will end up winning the Monaco GP? Let us know in the comments down below. The victory of Verstappen in Barcelona was marred by controversy, as Red Bull instructed Sergio Perez not to fight his teammate. Perez muttered that his team was unfair, but he complied with their request. Checo and I are working really well as a team, and it is of course great that we're leading the Constructors and Drivers' Championships, continued Verstappen. There's still a very long way to go and a lot can change, as we've seen so far this season. Although Max Verstappen won his 4th race of the season at the Spanish Grand Prix, but it was not an easy afternoon for the Red Bull driver, who had a problem with his car. And he's hoping that the team can mitigate the problems before the race weekend in Monaco begins. Despite winning the Spanish Grand Prix, Red Bull's Max Verstappen thinks that the team still needs to improve. Verstappen was able to push his way to the front of the pack and take his 4th victory of the season, as well as taking the lead in the World Championship standings after Ferrari's Charles Leclerc retired from the race due to a problem with his power unit. The Dutchman's afternoon, though, was not without its challenges. His RB18 had an intermittent issue with its drag reduction system, making his duel with George Russell's Mercedes much more difficult. When questioned after the race if he was concerned about such technical issues, Verstappen admitted that there is still potential for improvement, especially given Red Bull's reliability issues earlier in the season. He did, however, express his confidence in the team's capacity to overcome issues like this. It's just things that we can improve, right? The driver told media. That issue with DRS, of course, was quite costly, but at the end, we still won the race, so as a team, we're quite flexible. We adapt quickly if we have issues, and we try to work around it, even during the race, so that's good. Of course, we try to make sure that doesn't happen again, but we didn't retire, which other teams did, so that's already a good improvement. Because of Leclerc's retirement from the race in Barcelona and Verstappen's victory, the lead in the drivers' standings has changed hands. With this in mind, Verstappen recognizes the importance of consistency in the title fight. You can see it completely swings the championship around again, he explained. We just have to try and be really consistent and try not to make too many mistakes. You're not a robot, mistakes will happen, but we'll try to minimize them. Verstappen will be hoping that there are no problems with his RB18 in Monaco. But if we were to look at the history of problems for Red Bull this year, it wouldn't surprise anyone that they will be expecting some problems to come up during the weekend in Monaco. Verstappen will be trying to win his 5th race this season and his 4th in a row after winning every race since his last DNF back in Australia. What are your expectations for the Monaco GP this weekend? Let us know in the comments down below. Are you enjoying this video? Be sure to like it and subscribe to our channel to never miss out on our content. Let's get on with the video. So Red Bull had a problem with their DRS in Spain, but how does the DRS work and what are the loads on it? Why did it cause such a problem for Red Bull? The force to open the flap could be generated by hydraulics or an electrical solenoid. We're not sure which Red Bull employs, but we're going with a solenoid for the simple reason that running hydraulic lines all the way from the hydraulic manifold to that part of the back wing is a pain. You won't have any difficulties with hydraulic seals, and we're convinced it will be lighter as well. The overall wing generates downforce, and with that drag, at something like a 3-to-1 ratio. Because the flap is part of the system that creates that load, it's subjected to a force from both high pressure on the top surface and low pressure on the underneath, which is attempting to hold it shut. The actuator must overcome that load in order to open the DRS. the actuator can be used to close it, or if there's still a positive aerodynamic load on the flap, it will close on its own after the actuator force that's keeping it open is removed. Other issues can arise if the actuator is used to open the flap and the aerodynamic load is used to close it. We've seen flaps flutter when they're open in the past. Marcus Erisson's back flap failed to close a few years ago in Monza, resulting in a disastrous result. The issues arise when the flap passes through or rests on its aerodynamic center. Basically, if it sits on its aerodynamic center, the aerodynamic forces quickly swing from positive to negative due to turbulence from another car or even your own car, causing the flutter. If this is allowed to go past its aerodynamic center, eliminating the actuator force that holds it open will have no effect. The DRS will be kept open by the negative aerodynamic stresses. As a result, the flap mechanism requires a strong halt at both ends of the trip. The slot gap snubbers function when the flap is closed and requires a stop in the actuator to prevent it from opening too far. The regulations provide a minimum and maximum slot gap. It's a simple click and clunk system if you have both of them. When the flap is open, you must maintain some aerodynamic load on it to close it. Or if you use the actuator to close it, this load will also assist in closing it rapidly. After the race, Red Bull team principal Christian Horner speculated that the issue stemmed from being overly aggressive in making this portion lighter. Obviously, it needs further analysis, and we're chasing every ounce of performance and weight is a factor as well, said Horner when asked about the problem. Maybe we have been too ambitious there, but I think that we need to understand exactly what the issue is. We thought we had a fix, but unfortunately, it didn't prove to be a reliable fix for the whole of the race. To add to the confusion, it appeared to work consistently in the other DRS zone on the run from turn 9 to 10, as well as on the pit straight on occasion. That could be a hint as to the source of the issues. Was there a difference in car speed between these two activation points? If this is the case, the aerodynamic stress on the flap will be altered, which may reduce the force required by the actuator. When the DRS is turned on, every circuit will have a unique car speed, which is why you might easily be on the edge. In Barcelona, Red Bull had a higher downforce rear wing than it has previously this season. If the actuator was the same, it's not surprising they had an issue. To draw a conclusion from what Christian said, Red Bull most likely has two issues. It has a very light rear flap, which could simply mean it's a few grams too light, causing structural issues, and the force the actuator can generate to overcome the aerodynamic load on the flap is either insufficient or requires a little more just to provide that extra safety margin. They've probably figured this out as well, meaning they could be able to fix the problem just in time for the Monaco GP. We'll have to wait for the race to see if they found a solution. What do you think about the ongoing problems at the Red Bull camp? Do you think they've made major engineering faults during the design process of the car? Or is it just bad luck? Let us know in the comments down below. Make sure you subscribe to our channel if you liked the video and leave a like to support us. We'll see you in the next video.